first and foremost, I don't believe in actual good reviews that happen within like a week or 2 days of a servant's reveal.
Are you sure about that?
FGO's 7th anniversary might have just brought us one of the most unique, powerful, and straight-up gorgeous servants to date, in a world dominated by incredibly strong and unique servants, from art sleepers who can refund 300% MP gauge, to buster servants who can deal over 10 million damage in a mere 3 turns. There's a lot of competition in the modern landscape of FGO. However, for most people, rolling for a servant is something that's motivated by either meta reasons or waifu reasons. And in Arcueid's case, she may very well be one who brings the best of both worlds. In this video, we'll be going over everything from Arcueid's various team comps to her 3-turn farming times down to the second. I'll also have the document with all the in-depth numbers linked in the description below. This is the Arcueid Servant Guide.
空想具現千の鎖よ道を示せ仰ぎなさい星を覆う天外を
Arcueid has a lot going on, so we'll start with the basics. For a 5-star servant, Arcueid's attack stat is about average, her HP is above average, and her volleyball skills are on par with a nuclear warhead. As for her other stats, her MP gain is well below average, and her star generation is well above average. Moving on to her skills, Arcueid's first skill prevents all enemies from using their own skills for 1 turn, lowers their defense by 20% for 3 turns, and increases her own attack for 3 turns on a 6-turn cooldown. When farming, this skill is best used immediately, as it can stack the attack buff on itself when used with double coin Skya. The skill seal effect is also useful for challenge quests, so the enemy can't use BS skills that just Thanos snap your servants. 146k, dude, almost as much damage as the— oh, what, dude, what? Wait, what? So how's that work? Wait. Moving on, Arcueid's second skill provides a 100% MP battery and a 20% MP damage buff on a 7-turn cooldown. This skill is a staple to Arcueid's farming potential, the row to her curry, the bone to her sword. You guys get the idea. Thanks to this skill, Arcueid can be used for farming in multiple team comps, from a standard double Queen Skya setup using the Atlas Mystic Code to a double Arcueid setup with basically any servant in the game. You can find more info on this in the document below. And finally, for her third skill, Arcueid provides a 1-hit party-wide invincibility, a 100% buff removal resist for all allies who didn't make it onto Santa's naughty list, and a 30% MP charge for all allies besides herself when Millennium Castle Battlefield is active on a 6-turn cooldown. This skill is extremely useful with Castoria, as Castoria can provide an unpierceable invincibility, but is still vulnerable to skills that remove buffs. So having the 100% buff removal resist for all good allies, which includes Castoria and Arcueid, is a game changer for certain boss fights.
Heaven's Hall.
Making the mother of all omelets here, Jack. Cast bread over every egg. Why won't you die, nanomachine son?
When it comes to Arcueid's passive skills, the most notable, the original one, Rank D, increases her Buster, Quick, and Arts effectiveness by 30% when Millennium Castle Battlefield is active. Thanks to her NP's effect, the Millennium Castle Battlefield is activated before damage, meaning Arcueid automatically deals 30% more Buster damage with her NP every time. However, this passive does not give any more than 30% card damage buffs, even with more than 1 Millennium Castle Battlefield active. For more info on Arcueid's Millennium Castle Battlefield effects, I'll have Plushie's Mythbusters video linked below. And finally, for her Noble Phantasm, Fantasy Manifestation. This NP activates the Millennium Castle Battlefield for 3 turns, dealing heavy damage to all enemies, and further increases her damage between 1.5 times to 2 times against chaotic enemies, depending on NP level. She'll also charge the NP gauge of all living human allies by 20%. While the living human trait is not the most common among servants, when using a double Arcueid comp alongside a living human servant, they can charge that servant up to 100% NP by the 3rd wave without any append skills required. Now, let's talk farming deeds. At NP2, Arcueid won't have a problem 3-turn farming most free quests in a 60E setup, which make her optimal for efficient lotto farming. If your Arcueid is at NP1, even with Grails, she will need a damage boosting CE to clear most free quests. For in-depth details on compositions and damage numbers, check out the document linked below. In short, Arcueid is a very capable farmer for most level 90 nodes. And as for level 90 plus nodes, unless you use a damage boosting CE or get her to level 120 NP5 with 2k foes, her damage will struggle to clear most level 90 plus nodes. For the nerds out there trying to min-max their farming time, here's what I've got for you. When farming using Double Koyanskaya, Atlas Mystic Code, and Arcueid in a 60E setup, I averaged around 1 minute 10 seconds per run. This is accounting for using Arcueid's 2nd Ascension over her 1st or 3rd Ascension, since her 2nd Ascension's NP animation is about 1.3 seconds faster than her other Ascensions. However, since fatigue and general farming mistakes can be made over time, I also conducted extended farming times over 15, 30, and 60 minutes for a more realistic value. On average, I completed about 9 runs over 15 minutes, 19 runs over 30 minutes, and about 41 runs over 60 minutes. In short, when it comes to farming most free quests, Arcueid is one of the fastest and most consistent farmers there is. As for her performance in challenge quests, between her skill seal, buff removal resist, and one-hit invincibility, Arcueid is decently equipped to tackle on most challenging boss fights, though she will most likely need a support with healing capabilities, such as Merlin or Asclepius, to keep her around for longer fights. When it comes to craft essences, NP damage boosting CEs such as Dragonkind, Angel's Song, or Black Grail work best to Arcueid's strengths. As for support servants, when it comes to farming, Koyanskaya and Thomas Edison help boost Arcueid's farming capabilities due to their cooldown reduction and damage boosting skills. For challenge quests, Merlin, Miyu, and Asclepius help keep Arcueid topped up on heals and NP charge, with Miyu as a living human trait also benefiting from Arcueid's NP effect, granting 20% NP charge to all living human allies. From her stellar animations and character design to her incredibly powerful and unique skill set, while also being one of the longest anticipated servants in FGO, Arcueid gives the NA crowd a lot to look forward to in the next 2 years. Whether it's for how powerful they are, a connection to a character's story, or even a single voice line, everyone has their own reason for having their favorite servants. As for Arcueid's overall gameplay, she has incredible potential for 3-turn farming against irregular enemy waves and has a good set of skills when it comes to challenging content. With that being said, Arcueid earns the S rank from me. If you liked what you saw here, feel free to subscribe. And if you want to see me live, I'll be over at twitch.tv/PocketChalk. Thanks for watching, and remember, your waifu will always be meta to you.